kick somebody's ass. I mean, that's why we're here.
That is caught! Left center! Reds win!
And this ball is launched. High and very deep to right, long gone. It's second of the night. Ellie De La Cruz.
Short lead for Pena. Larkin drills it. Do you believe this? It's going to be gone! Back to back! Walk-off home runs! How about this? He's back! He's back! He's back!
And a swing and a drive. Deep left field. This one belongs to the Reds. Swung on and hit deep to left field. That ball is going to be gone. Home run. And the Reds put it tied to score.
Goes to second one. Around to first. Got a double play. And the Reds sweep the Cubs. Breaking ball. Hit high. Hit deep. Way back there. And gone into the second deck and left. Christian Encarnacion Strand walks it off.
Archer does it! In his major league debut! He gets the final 3 outs, and the Reds get an extra inning win. A thriller 5-4.
Swung on. Fly ball. Hit to deep right field. That ball is going to be gone. A grand slam home run by Mike Cameron.
2 outs, 2 on. Reds down by 1. Larkin down the line. It's a winning. It's a winning. Here comes Tucker. Here comes Steins. Larkin's won the game. Barry Larkin gets mobbed. Look at this scene. It's synergy.
The stretch, the pause and the pitch. And a line drive, base hit left center field. A single for Aaron Boone. And this one belongs to the Reds. The Reds have won 8 in a row.
Kobayashi with a long look turns it loose, and Dunn hits it to deep right. It's all over. And this one belongs to the Reds. The Reds have won their 5th game in a row. They've defeated the Cleveland Indians on an Adam Dunn 3-run home run, 4-2. In on the corners at first and third. 2 on, nobody out. Here's Royce Ring pitching, no bunt. Ground ball by the third baseman into left field. Dave Bruce rounds third. This one belongs to the Reds.
That's hit pretty good. Guess what? He doesn't need speed. That's gone. He's the king of the Queen City tonight.
With 1 out here in the 11th inning, you sure got to go now. Swung on, pull down the left field line. That ball is going to get the winning run in. Here comes Dave Bruce rounding third, heading toward the plate. And this one belongs to the Reds.
Huge situation for Votto. Why you paying the big bucks to deliver the goods with 2 outs in the 9th inning? Can he do it? In the gap, right center field, and Votto delivers the goods.
Hit deep center field. Hank Hill going back at the warning track. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Joey Votto is delivered.
Welcome back, Reds fans. My name is Mike Hart, and welcome to the Chatterbox Reds pregame show. Today is July 18th, 2025, and the Cincinnati Reds get to open up the All-Star break playing against the New York Mets in New York. And joining me today off the bench, the pinch hitter with a better pinch-hitting batting average than Chris Heisey, we have Max Alfonso. How are you doing today?
I am so happy baseball is back. I can deal with like the first few days, and then you get to Thursday, and it's like, all right, like there was no baseball Wednesday, so let's get it rolling. I'm excited for the series, and yeah, this is a big series, a big one tonight.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with myself after the All-Star game. The thing that I like to sit down and watch, whether I love or hate what's going on the screen, wasn't there for me. So I'm glad, just like you, to be able to get back to some Cincinnati Reds baseball. But let's talk a little bit about the All-Star game. We got to see Andrew Abbott and Ellie participate. Andrew Abbott pitched a perfect inning. 2 lazy fly balls and a ground out to the pitcher. So looked really good. And I think he even had a tick on his fastball, throwing like 95. Ellie went 0 for 2, but he was in a vibes guy. You could tell he was right up there especially during the home run derby. He was really enjoying himself. What were your thoughts on the All-Star game and the whole weekend that we got to experience?
Yeah, really happy for Ellie and Andrew Abbott. really happy for Abbott, his first time being there and being an injury replacement. He really did deserve to be there, and he showed that on the mound, and he pitched really well. It was really sharp. It was only 13 pitches too, which was arguably the best part.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So he's fresh and ready to go, I think Sunday.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was a fun All-Star game. Turned out to be a really good game. The ending was fun with future Red Kyle Schwarber winning it on a home run
Oh
derby.
yeah. Yeah.
And
What
then
did you think? What did you think of that finish? Just like no extra innings, we're going to a swing off. What were your thoughts on that?
yeah, that was fun. I don't want that in like the regular season. Like that's not something I want to just be a thing. But
Sure.
I don't know. All-Star game, I think it's pretty cool. Maybe they can find a way to incorporate that more into the game and not just rely on an extra inning game every, 15 years. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, and it's what shootout in hockey and soccer is, what that is, penalty kicks. I thought it was really fun. I was about to go to bed, and then when I found out that was even a possibility, this is even before the American League tied it up. I was like, well, I got to stay up and watch to see whether or not we have swing off, and it was a ton of fun. The just the tension with every pitch I thought was really cool. And then Schwarber just absolutely demolishing 3 home runs there to basically seal the win was really cool. There's something to be said. I think it would have been cool to see like Judge and Cal Raleigh in this, but I think it was reported that Judge and Otani at least had already left because that's what happens in the All-Star game. But imagine like a National League lineup. The thing is, if the National League had everyone to choose from, I think they probably still pick Schwarber and Alonso. But just imagine Otani, Schwarber, Alonso versus Judge, Raleigh, and I don't know. Pick your third one. Maybe even Randy Rosarina or
Rooker.
Oh yeah, Brent Rooker who hit 2. Right, like that would be nuts. That would be really cool. Like the build up for that, I think would have been really cool. So I don't know. I bet you a lot of those players didn't even know that was a thing. And then they're like, oh, wait, we didn't realize that this could be a possibility. So I would imagine that in the future, there may even be people that choose to stay just because of that possibility, right? If it's a close game, they're like, it could be here. I might be needed in a swing off, or I just want to watch the swing off live. Maybe they'll stay. So I mean, either way, a great exhibition for baseball. I thought it was cool to see the Reds get in it and be able to contribute. But yeah, hopefully it is definitely not the last time we're going to be seeing Ellie doing that. Hopefully we'll be able to have some of these people in the lineup here, be able to join him over the years, perennially in the All-Star game. But coming out of the All-Star game, it's actually a little bit later this year. I was kind of doing some look back in, and we're already almost, I think we're at game, 98 or something like that. Like we're pretty far. We're definitely past halfway. And we're getting to a tough time. I know Trace and Nick have talked a lot about this. In the next couple series, we're going to have to really decide what the Reds are going to have to decide what they do, right? Right now, Fangraphs have the Reds at 11% chance of the playoffs. Baseball Reference has them at 20%. So still not great. Still 4th in the Central, even though we're 3 games over 500. I figured why don't we talk a little bit about, I have a little graphic here. We can talk a little bit about their upcoming schedule. I don't know how well you can see that, Max, but we got 3 against the Mets, who are 55-42. Half game out of first place in their division. Then we have 3 against the last place Nats. Pretty good. Then we have 3 against the Rays, who are in almost an identical spot as so 50-47. I think that's the exact same record. I think they're in 4th in the AL East and are, fighting for a playoff spot. And then we have 3 against the mighty Los Angeles Dodgers, who, while have been struggling recently, are still, 12 games. I guess I can't do math. I shouldn't do math live on air, but are well above 500. And I think still in first place in the division. So what are your thoughts on the upcoming schedule? And that's all pre the deadline, which is on the 31st. So what are your thoughts on this schedule coming out here and what they might need to do going into these series?
I think for them to be buyers, I think the Mets and Nats series are just incredibly, incredibly important. We'll talk a little bit about the the post-deadline, the post-All-Star break struggles over the last few years, but when they've been in contention in 21, they came out of the break and really stunk, and then 23, they also stunk. So it's like it's now or never, and it's something different between Bell and Tito. Is Tito in the second half, normally his teams rise and we'd see the Bell teams kind of fall. We haven't seen, that with the Reds yet, so it's to be determined with Tito. But this is just a huge weekend for the Reds and a big stretch here to determine really just the fate of the season. They sweep this weekend and then win the series in Washington. I mean, they're straight up buyers.
Right.
So we'll
Yeah.
see, and we'll see what the Rays look like coming up as well. The Rays just always do weird Tampa Bay Rays things, so maybe they'll just have 2 pieces gone by the time we get to them. You never know. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. And to be clear, I don't think that if they struggle out of the gate here, that the season is over. I just think that it is probably not prudent for them to buy. Now we've seen with other teams like the Tigers last year where they sold and they still went on to make the playoffs, right? So I'm not declaring the season over. Anything can happen. Hunter Green comes back in his nails and they go on a run, but I was, doing the math here. It's just like, if they don't win 2 out of 3 with the Mets, so say they lose 2 out of 3 to the Mets, but then win 2 out of 3 to the Mets, we're still 3-3 and we're basically in the same exact spot, closer to it, having really probably gained no ground and even less percentage. And then so say you even win the Rays series after that, so you're now you're 5-4 going into the Dodgers, arguably the best team in baseball, right? And it's like, well, maybe not right now, but with one of the best rosters in baseball, the Dodgers, and you start really running out of time at that point. And unfortunately, while we've wanted the Reds to try to pull away, or in some cases also just like make it clear that we should sell at certain areas, it is not. That's not how the Reds have been. So I think you're right. I think 2 out of 3 against the Mets is like, it feels like the Rockies series, right? 2 out of 3 against the Mets is the bare minimum that they need to get out of this. And then same thing will get against the Nationals. I think we have to come out of there. What is that? 4-2 going into the Rays series, because otherwise, you start running out of time before that deadline to really make any moves. And I think that's going to be interesting as a fan. Now, do I think the players are going to I don't know. Will Benson kind of alluded to it in his post-game interview that, they realize that it's kind of now or never. But, as a fan, we get to watch. It's not going to be playoff level baseball, but we get to watch like baseball games that are going to have some real stakes, because if like they go out and lay an egg against the Mets, then it's like, well, okay, well, that was our playoff series that we didn't do well in, right? It's kind of how it's going to feel to me. So that I think today is going to make the wins even sweeter, or the losses hurt even more, especially in this series in New York and Washington, because it feels like we have games with stakes, and hopefully the Reds will be able to rise to the occasion here.
Yeah, having stakes is fun. It's something that I think all Reds fans want, is to be playing for something. We haven't gotten much of that, so it's fun to talk about. But at the end of the day, we just need to see the Reds play well on the field. It was nice that they could win that series against the Rockies before the break. It really would have been bad. It really would have been a bad All-Star break then, but obviously wasn't as good as we wanted it to be. But hopefully now they can make up some ground. I just really worry about that National Series. It seems like the worse the team, the worse the Reds play. So
Yeah, there has been a lot of
we'll
playing
see.
down to the competition, but then so we'll see. To be honest, I think if we're playing almost any other opponent against the Rockies, I don't think we win the series, to be honest. It felt like we didn't play well, and the Rockies kind of just gave it to us in those 2 games, including the game that we
It was
lost.
really bad.
They tried
Really
to give it
bad
to us,
series.
and we didn't. Yeah, I know. It's weird feeling bad about a 2-1 win series win, but I didn't feel very good about it. So hopefully some rest, some refocusing for most people, and then maybe for Ellie getting re-energized by going to and taking place in the All-Star festivities will help us for the rest of it. And I like what you said too about, it was like the trademark for David Bell, and I have some stats on this later in my what to watch for about like David Bell's teams coming out of the break would just trip right away. And let's hope that Tito, this is why you pay for that Hall of Fame manager, right? We haven't loved all of the, the chess piece moves that he's done for pinch hitting and things like that, or defense. But where he really can make his money is in these unseen, these intangible things of helping the team get a fast start here and really, put it to the Mets in this series. It would be just so refreshing to see them come out and just like put it on a better team and just like prove it's like, hey, we deserve to be here. We're in it for the long haul. Management, let's go get bullpen help. Let's go get another bat. Let's go get somebody that's going to help us with this stretch run. So let's hope that we can see that starting tonight, but also this weekend.
Yeah, they need to earn the right to be in contention in August and September, and that starts with this series this weekend. So
you want to go through the lineup here? We got a game that that we're excited about here. Why don't you go through that lineup and we'll talk about if there's anything here that surprises you.
Yeah, so it's pretty normal, I guess, lineup for the Reds against a lefty. Friedel lead it off. McLean, Ellie, Hayes, and then Steer, Marte up to the 6-hole. And then Stevenson DHing, which I feel like we haven't seen as much as of late. Seems like him and Trevino just been alternating days. And then Trevino is 8th, and Espinal in right field hitting 9th. What are your thoughts on the lineup and Espinal playing right field?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that is where he's slotting him in. I guess your other option then or in right would be Connor Joe. But spoiler, Connor Joe is 0 for 8 against Sean Manaea. So that probably played into it a little bit. Interesting. I wonder if that's really where he's going to be. I wonder if he gets some sort of defensive replacement for Benson later on, getting a pinch hit against a right-handed reliever, something like that. I would imagine that's the case, especially because he's not slotted in at an infield position where he's so valuable defensively. So I would imagine there'd be maybe something like that coming along the way. But it's the 9th hole I don't know. I find it hard to get too outraged about somebody batting 9th. It's just like our options here are Joe, who I don't love, or Fraley, Benson, and Lux against Sean Manaea, and we'll get to him. And he's got this weird, funky left-handed, almost Chris Sale-like delivery that just, that has Will Benson 3Ks written all over it. So it's just like, we'll see where it is. I don't get too upset about somebody in the 9th hole. But yeah, it's we'll see how they do. Hopefully, with Hayes, Steer, Marte, Stevenson, that can be somebody that really gives Manaea trouble. That right in the middle of the lineup, a bunch of righties that you would hope can hit left-handed pitching, and frankly, if we're going to make the playoffs, are going to need them to hit left-handed pitching. So let's hope that we can get that out of them.
Yeah, my only thing on the lineup is it just proves how much they need a right-handed outfield bat.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all it is to me, because then you could say you have one of the names that I've been throwing around is Alex Call for the Nationals. He crushes lefties, plays right field. I mean, he slots in perfectly. He's better than Connor Joe. Like it's pretty seamless. And say you have Alex Call hitting 9th, playing right field tonight, then you can do some more things. If you want Espinal in there, then fine. Play him at 3rd and DH Marte, and just go with one of Stevenson and Trevino. Like there's just more options.
Yeah, I like that name.
Just and another one, Dane Myers for the Marlins, also crushes lefties, plays good defense. You could probably get a reliever as well from the Marlins. So there's just no excuse in my mind for them to not get a right-handed bat at minimum. Just even if they fall out of it, you can get a controllable right-handed bat, or you can just call up Hines, which do we really want that? I don't know. But someone in the chat said Brent Rooker. If we get Brent Rooker, I will throw a parade. I'll drive to Sacramento and drive him here. But I don't
know.
think we'll be
Brent
getting
Rooker's
Brent
like
Rooker.
34 and he's signed for the next 3 years. So
Yeah,
Brent
I don't
Rooker
think that'll be
has
happening.
J.
But I would love it.
Malaria written all over it. I think he could probably help us this year. Sure. Yeah, I do. I think that throwing his bat right behind Ellie would be wonderful. I just don't know how long he holds on to that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we don't we got to earn the right to be buyers, I think. And do I think Dane Myers or Alex Call like moves the needle? Like, I don't think everyone gets like super pumped. It's like season World Series, here we come. No, but I think maybe that's why that they seem like they might be names that you can control and then also be able to use past this year. I think maybe more of what they go for. Jacob Doyle is telling me Brent Rooker's 30. Yeah, you're right. I was wrong. He's 30, but he is signed for a couple more years out past that. And he has been almost DH exclusive. Theoretically could play outfield, but we get other lineup issues if we get him. Would his bat play? Absolutely. We talk about whether that, depending on what we give up, whether that could be the case or not. Let's talk about Nick Lodolo. He's getting the nod coming out of the break. A little bit surprising, I thought. But then maybe not if you think about it, right? It would probably be Andrew Abbott, but he pitched in the All-Star game. And I guess you like him over Singer Martinez and Chase Burns. I can see why they would maybe want him pitching against the Nationals instead of the Mets, right? So I guess makes a little sense to me. He's had a pretty good season, right? I think he's got a sub-4 ERA. Maybe 6-6. His last outing, he went 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, and 4 strikeouts. So that's pretty good. He's getting it done, not always with the strikeout. What have you been seeing so far with Nick Lodolo, and what do you think he can do tonight for us?
It seems like for a while there, it was just really kind of just a down year, and people were really down on Lodolo. And then you look up, and he's got an ERA of 3.4. Lately, I feel like he's thrown the ball really well. The start against the Marlins was big. The Reds needed a start like that because that series was a grind. But yeah, I feel like sometimes with the Dolo, you don't know what you're going to get going into it. So if tonight he went like 7 shutout, I wouldn't be shocked. But if he went like 4 innings and gave up 7, I also kind of wouldn't be shocked. So hopefully tonight is one of those good nights. And a note on Lodolo is lefties this year have really crushed him, which kind of surprises me. These guys have an OPS over 800 against Lodolo when hitting from the left side, which is a little surprising. He's got that sinking fastball and that big breaking ball that runs away from lefties. So hopefully that'll kind of reverse a little bit. But yeah, and then on the other side, we'll get into the Mets lineup here soon, but their lineup doesn't really hit lefties well either. So it's kind of all right. Like let's see what happens against Lodolo, who struggles against lefties, and the Mets can't hit lefties. So we'll see.
Right. Yeah, and I wonder if I think it's been pretty clear that breaking ball he's not nearly had the feel to it as that changeup that he's added, right? And so the breaking ball is breaking away from lefties, but breaking into left-handed pitching. And so that changeup has been much more of a weapon against right-handed pitching. So I guess if that pitch has been on and feeling good, it makes sense that maybe right-handed pitching has been what he's been better at versus left-handed pitching. Or left-handed batters. So let's hope that he's able to get both sides of the plate out today, because the Mets, they get they're at the $330 million payroll, right? These are the big bad spending Mets. Their offense has actually been not that great, right? They've frankly been kind of their mantra for winning is get good pitching and have a few people come through for them. I think Juan Soto started off real slow, but has been picking it up as of late. And he's obviously, still young. And I don't know, maybe some people started to doubt him, but I surely didn't believe that Juan Soto wasn't going to be, ending the year with.
All of that was ridiculous. Juan Soto's numbers this year are fantastic. All of that was just New York stuff being ridiculous. He's been awesome this year.
And then Pete Alonso has been good too. He coming off of not getting the money that he wanted. I think he's been pretty good. But then you get past that in this lineup, Brandon Nimmo. I guess let's go through it. We got Francisco Lindor at short leading off, Mark Vientos, Juan Soto, and left, Pete Alonso at first. Then you get into Brandon Nimmo, left-handed batter in left field, Ronnie Mauricio at third base. He's really struggled, especially against lefties. Jeff McNeil at second base. Tyrone Taylor, who we remember from when he played for the Brewers. He actually, I think, is the only one that has any real success off for Lodolo. And then Luis Torrens. So you look at this lineup and you're like, all right, don't let Soto and Alonso beat you. And like that seems like a pretty good path to victory here, right? It's just like you don't Nimmo, Mauricio, McNeil, Tyrone Taylor, and Luis Torrens doesn't seem to like. We bring the Reds back up here. I like Steer, Marte, Stevenson, Trevino better than all of than that four. So what are your thoughts on their lineup and what Nick is going to have to deal with today?
I don't know if you can hear me. I lost the audio.
Yeah, I can hear you. Just your microphone is a little bit faded.
Sorry about this. But
it's all right. It's all right.
If you can hear me, I can give a little preview of my thoughts on the Mets lineup as I work through my issues with my headphones. But the Mets lineup, you look on paper, and I think it's a fantastic lineup when you just look at it. But as you mentioned, there has been some struggles this year. They have some serious holes that they need to fill at the deadline. Center field has been an issue for them. Third base hasn't been great for them. McNeil's been playing a little bit of center as well, and he's like 35. He probably shouldn't be playing center field. So, and Francisco Alvarez has been rough for them. So, I think it's a lineup that Lodolo can pitch well against, but he's going to have to get out the big bats of Lindor, Soto, and Alonso. Those are the big three that can really hurt you, obviously, if things go bad. And I will try and fix my audio here.
Yeah, sure. I think this is more than ever, obviously, when you need to win a series, everything's got to be firing for you. But Sean Connor brought up is a huge test for the Reds defense. Got to make great plays. I think when you're not favored in a series, right? You're playing a better team. You've got, what seems to be a matchup disadvantage. You got to do all the small stuff right. So that's, base running, defense, moving runners over, hitting sacrifice flies, things like that. That needs to be just completely on point. And maybe, hopefully Tito was really nailing that or getting that into their heads in this time off, because it's like the small stuff is what the Reds are going to need to do if they're going to be able to win in this series, because talent wise, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, probably better than anyone, and Frankie Lindor better than anyone on the Reds that isn't named Ellie De La Cruz. Right. So, if we can get in there, we're going to need every advantage we can, to go and win this series. Think about it as every time we play the Brewers, right? It feels like the talent gap is big. We have better talented players, but then they win because they take the extra base. They throw out a guy at third. They hit the other way to drive in and move a runner over. And so if we're able to do that, I think that is really we're going to need all of that if we're going to beat the Mets this series.
Yeah, I agree. They're going to need to be better on the base pass. Maybe not be better, but I think be a little bit more aggressive. It'd be nice if, we saw Ellie try and get on the run more, or McLean a little bit as well, because he's really fast, and so is Marte. So if the Reds, can be a little bit more aggressive and stuff like that, I think it'll be better for them to try and generate runs.
Yeah. And I'm going to put a pause in this right now, because I forgot to ask everyone to like the stream. I'd usually do that up top, and I forgot. I'm out of practice. I haven't done it. We haven't had games here in a couple days. So if you're in here listening to us, we really appreciate it. Please like the stream, subscribe to Chatterbox Reds. Make sure you tune in to tonight's the post-game show as well. I think it's Nick and Trace tonight. So yeah, we really appreciate it. Thank you for everyone for joining us and being with us. But let's talk a little bit about Sean Manaea, the guy who's starting. This will only be his second appearance of the year. His first appearance actually came in relief. He didn't start the game. He actually went. It looks like he went.
He went 3 1/3.
3 1/3, 5 hits, only 1 earned run, and 7 strikeouts. But that 1 earned run was a walk-off earned run to the Royals. So he's struggled with an oblique and an elbow injury this year so far. So and the big thing with Mania is that he was really struggling until last year, halfway through the year. He changed his arm angle. He said he started throwing, you know how in the bullpen they have two mounds, right? He started throwing off of the other mound to the opposite catcher. So it was like that was how he worked on trying to lower his arm angle and try to get some more precision getting and throwing the ball. So it's a really interesting thing that he's done, and frankly got a lot better. His strikeout numbers went way up when he changed his arm angle. So hopefully you're catching a guy at a good at the right time. Somebody who's not polished yet. We've seen people like really good pitchers that the Reds have had. Like I'm thinking like Hunter Green when they're still knocking off the rust, right? Their command isn't quite there. Maybe they get the strikeout numbers, but he can't go deep in a game. So hopefully the Reds are able to get some momentum there against a starter that maybe is still in his spring training mind type thing. So what do you have some stats on how some of the Reds have been against Mania in their career?
Yeah, so 3 Reds have homered off of Sean Manaea, Ellie being one of them. He is 2 for 5, as well as Friedel being 2 for 5 with a homer. Hayes is 2 for 6 with a homer. Connor Joe 0 for 8, as you mentioned, probably why he's not in the lineup, and they chose Espinal to be in the lineup, who is also 0 for 3 against Sean Manaea. Spencer Steer is 1 for 6, and Tyler Stevenson 1 for 5. Sean Manaea is not going to really overpower you, I guess, with his stuff. His fastball in his first outing sat around 93, which is up a little bit from last year. It was at 92, probably from just being, fresh. He hasn't really thrown much. I don't know how long his rehab was, but I imagine he was on a rehab assignment. So it'll be interesting. I'll be looking at his velocity tonight as he starts the game. I'll see if he starts maybe like 91, 92 and kind of works up, but we'll see. I think this is a guy the Reds can handle. He's not going to overpower you too much, and yeah, I think the top of the lineup's pretty important tonight for the Reds against this lefty who's had a good career.
Yeah, this is no Garrett Crochet that we're facing, right? I guess the thing that I worry about is anytime you have somebody that makes a drastic change, like bringing your arm angle down, right? It takes a second for people to get used to it. And De La Cruz, Friedel, and Hayes with a homer off of him sounds awesome. I would imagine all of that is pre-arm angle change, right? I guess I don't know that for sure, but so what I worry about is, do I think Manaea is a bona fide ace? No. Do I think he's a pretty good pitcher? Yeah. I think he got 3 years, 75 million. So basically around the Nick Martinez level of a per year basis, right? And I kind of compare him to him, right? It's just like a guy who can do, and his level of pitching. Obviously, Nick Martinez is much, much more durable than Sean Manaea. But I just worry that the Reds have made wily lefties look good this year. And I just really hope that we don't see that this today. I saw you post something up there about his rehab starts having a 6.27 ERA. It's not great. It's not great at all, but I hope the Reds are able to.
I don't take too much stock of that. Like it is what it is. He's up here now, and he's been a good pitcher for a long time. Sean Manaea is not, a rookie that they're just calling up, being like,
That's
all right,
true. Yeah.
now's the time. This is a veteran guy in a big park.
One
with a pretty solid defense behind him.
Yeah, for sure. And one interesting thing too, I noticed he only threw basically 2 pitches. He only threw fastball sweeper in his and when that's the case, it can work, right? We've seen it. People like this is a way back machine, right? Tony Cingrani, right? He threw fastball slider. That was it. And it can work when it's on, but if one of them is off and they can just sit on one of those pitches, then you can really tee off. So that's actually, I think, what I'll probably be watching is like, is he gonna bring his changeup? Is he gonna try to throw? I think he threw one changeup against the Royals, and and they gave up a hit off of it. So it's like if he only sticks to 2 pitches, I think the Reds, will be able to settle in and maybe get some hits off of him.
Yeah, I personally would think that's just a bullpen thing. Ashcraft in the bullpen this year. I think he's only thrown cutter and slider. I think he's completely dropped the sinker. I could be wrong, but it seems like he's only thrown 2 pitches, and that's a lot of relievers now.
Yeah.
So I would expect him to, work in some of his other pitches. You mentioned the changeup, maybe another fastball, but yeah, we'll see what happens tonight against Sean Manaea.
Yeah. Pitching path to victory. Well, everyone's available. I would imagine everyone is available for both bullpens. We just had a long layoff. One thing to note, Edwin Diaz is their closer, brother of Alexis Diaz. Maybe you've heard of him, of Timmy Trumpet's fame. Let's hope that we don't have to listen to Timmy Trumpets, because he's 19 of 20 on his saves, and he's only given 1 earned run up in his last 28 and a third innings pitched. So I would love for the Reds to jump on them and not have to try to get stuff off the closer, but we will see. We're running a little long here, so we can skip the NL Central rundown here. I know the Cubs already won today, but hopefully we'll be able to see some losses for the other NL Central teams that we're chasing. Let's talk a little bit about the rest of the series. Tomorrow at 4:10, we've got Nick Martinez, 6-9 with a 4.85 ERA, going against Clay Holmes, right-handed pitcher, 8-4 with a 3.31 ERA. And then Sunday, we have Andrew Abbott with his 2.07 ERA, 8-1, going against their all-star, David Peterson, left-handed pitcher again, who's 6-4 and a 3.06 ERA. So the Mets have good starting pitching. Their pitching has been very good this year. Hopefully, we're able to match them pitching wise and then get some timely hits, but it's not going to be easy. I think their pitching is pretty good and going to be something that's tough to have to deal with.
Yeah, I'm interested to watch Clay Holmes tomorrow. When the Mets announced their rotation, I think yesterday or the day before, a lot of Mets fans were hoping that they would kind of push Holmes back a little bit. So I saw they were saying he kind of looks like he's running on fumes because he was now a starter. He's been out of the bullpen these last few years for the Yankees, so it'll be interesting to see if how he looks tomorrow with a little bit more rest. But yeah, I haven't exactly been following the Clay Holmes every start to start basis this year. I know he's been throwing the ball well, but I'm
Yeah.
interested to see how he looks tomorrow. That could also just be Mets fans just complaining about any random thing.
That's right. Yeah, you never know, but I know he introduced this year a kick change, right? The new type of changeup that looks a little bit different. And whenever you are able to add a new pitch that looks different and then kind of locate in the right spot, oftentimes you see a surge of success that then maybe is followed with people figuring out what it looks like and how to handle stuff like that. So there may be some just like built-in regression that way accordingly. So hopefully we're able to come out. Like I said, I think bare minimum, we need 2 out of 3 in this series. And those are some good pitchers that we're going to have to deal with. But, they get Nick Lodolo and Andrew Abbott. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully some rest will help out Nick Martinez as well. And we'll be able to, come away with either 2 or 3 wins against the Mets here. We're about to get into the crystal ball part of this program where we ask the chat and each other about what you think the score is going to be. We're going to have some predictions, so throw those in the chat for you. But before we get there, I just wanted to end with, we mentioned it earlier, just what to watch for with the Reds. My what to watch for is just how we've struggled out of the break. I've got some statistics here. So last year in 2024, we were 47-50 and we got swept by the Nats. And that was basically it, right? It was like, okay, that ended the season. Basically, we traded Montas and kind of middled around 500 for the rest of the year. And didn't make the playoffs. 2023, we were in first place, I think a game up on the Brewers, and then we went and got swept by the Brewers. And we actually had an L5 out of the break, came to second place, and then never was able to recover after that. We were 50-41. We were 50-41 at the break at that 2023. Man, that was a time. And then in 2022, I didn't really count that one because that was the year they started like 3-22. So they weren't into it. They weren't in the race ever. So
Brandon Drury was our best hitter that year.
Yeah. But in 2021, that was Nick Castellanos and Jonathan India's rookie year. We were getting things. We were 48-42 going into the break, and look at that. We were swept by Milwaukee and had an L4 out of the break. So what I take from this is, thank you, we're not playing Milwaukee. out of the break. I know we still have to play them. Like we're going to have to exercise those demons at some point. But, I think another point you made is that these were David Bell teams and this is Tito's team. I think, you go get the Hall of Fame manager to make a difference in stuff like this. So hopefully we're able to see, sweeps the Mets as what comes up by here. But what are your thoughts on how we've stumbled out of the gate here recently? Unfortunately, after the All-Star break.
Yeah, it would just be nice if every once in a while the Reds didn't wait until the deadline to make moves. If they add a little bit around the All-Star break, maybe those years are a little different. But you can't change that, and that's fine. They need to hit. Before the break, the bats just went dead. Like they could not generate offense. It seemed like so. I think that's important for the Reds right now is to get kind of your rhythm back on offense. They were hitting well for a while, and then they went to Philly and came back home, and the bats went quiet. So I think that's the biggest thing is just hit. It sounds simple, but it's not. But yeah, just hit the ball. Let's get some runs across the board and let's win a series.
Yep. I agree against some good pitching, but we're gonna need to hit. That's for sure. All right, let's talk about. All right, Max, get your prediction ready. We have Jacob Doyle says 4-3 Reds over the Mets. I'd love that. WTI Trader says 8-4 Reds. Boy, I'd love putting 8 on this pitching staff. Lance George 6-5 Reds. Man, all these nail biters. Man, I'm gonna be up. Yelling at my TV as we get all these close games going in here. Troy Taylor just said Reds by 3. Yeah, but field goal, whether that's 3-0 or whether that's 10-7, we'll never know. But that's good too. Max, what's your prediction? What do you think we're gonna do tonight against Chamonix and the Mets?
I think the Reds are gonna hit tonight and this series. So I say an 8-3 Reds W.
8-3. I like that. I like 8-3. I think that it's going to be a pitcher's duel. I think both teams are going to pitch well. The Reds are going to get some timely hitting, maybe even off the bench from Will
Connor
Benson
Joe.
or Gavin Lux. No, not Connor Joe. I would be very happy to not see Connor Joe in this game. And I think the Reds win 2-1. That's my guess. They squeak one out 2-1 and get the win. So that's our predictions for it. Hopefully, I'm still happy that everyone predicted a Reds win. I've been in some of the. We've been down bad this year so far, and there's been some games where they haven't. We've been having some people predicting Reds losing. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Once again, please like the show. We thank everyone that's joined us. We had a bunch of fun. Thank you, Max, for stepping in for Ricky. I appreciate it. Had a blast talking about the Reds and getting back into Reds baseball as baseball degenerates are back ready for watching our team. Please like the show, subscribe, make sure that you tune in for the post-game show tonight. And hopefully they'll be celebrating the Reds and maybe even talking about Alex Call and Rob Refsnyder and who they can go get to hit left-handed pitching. So that's all I have. Max, do you have anything else before we take off here?
A little stuff in the chat about the Reds trading for Nick Kurtz. That will not be happening, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's no way.
That's
like somebody trading for Chase Burns. It's like their number one pick from
that'd be
last
pretty
year.
sweet.
Yeah.
But if we do trade with the A's, Tyler Soderstrom's an outfield name. He's a lefty.
Didn't he catch
plays
too?
first as well. I'm sorry.
I thought he caught as well. Is he an ex-catcher?
So I looked. He has not caught at all this year.
Oh,
so he's strictly
okay.
first and left field, which is where Rooker and Kurtz play. So he could be a name that they offload, and they'd probably want pitching because they don't have any good pitchers. So Lodolo for Soderstrom, send it in.
All right. Well, we'll see what that ends up getting us. If there's not anything else, Max, why don't you hit us with a Go Reds?
Yeah, let's do it. Go Reds.